Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.
Hello, I'm Lori Steiner. Welcome to Golden Opportunities.
Today, the doctor will see you now. We'll update you on the latest medical news. Ready to take a hike? We'll step up and tell you about tours that highlight history all around our town. Then, it's the best gift she ever got. We'll meet a woman who can't stop smiling about her husband's perfect present. Plus, you've written your will, but who will inherit your memories and mementos? We'll offer insight into leaving a legacy. And age discrimination is illegal, but what legal rights do you have when you've been let go? We'll lay down the law.
It's time to get geoing, so pull up a chair and join us at our kitchen table for Golden Opportunities. You've got a cold, or is it an infection? Do you need to starve it or feed it? Do you handle it at home, or do you opt for an antibiotic? Pam Kreider is here to review respiratory issues and how to issue some advice. And going to issue us some advice. Pam is a certified nurse practitioner in senior health and wellness at Metro Health. So welcome back to the show.
All right, thanks for having me again.
I mean, it's finally summer. Do we really have to be talking about colds? I mean, isn't that a winter thing?
I wouldn't say so much worry, but we need to be aware of it. You know, we used to call them summer colds for a reason. Just because we're on vacation doesn't mean respiratory viruses take a vacation too.
All right. So we know the common cold affects our respiratory system. What other infections affect it also?
You have things like the common cold, sinusitis, bronchitis, and even pneumonia. With sinusitis, it affects the sinuses here. You get pressure and sometimes you can have a headache. Bronchitis, the airways get kind of constricted, and sometimes with that you usually have a very nasty cough. And pneumonia fills the lungs up and it makes it hard to breathe.
Is it pneumonia the most serious of those?
It depends, but it can be the most serious.
All right. So, how can we tell if it's just a cold or when it gets to be a little more doctor's attention needed?
With the cold, you generally have coughing, sneezing, runny nose, congestion. Sometimes you lose taste and you lose smell, and sometimes you even have a decreased appetite.
All kinds of things happen to you when you have a cold. Huh?
Right. But when you generally have a cold, one of the best things to do when you have a cold is to make yourself comfortable. Rest, drink plenty of fluids. Chicken soup, research has actually shown that sipping chicken broth, chicken soup, helps with the nasal congestion.
Oh, so mom was always right. Huh?
Right. Sometimes mom's is always right. And sometimes for your symptoms, you can buy over-the-counter medicines such as cough syrup, you know, things to help with your symptoms.
Okay.
But you may have other comorbidities, you may have diabetes, or you may have hypertension. So you want to check with the pharmacist to get the right medicine for what you have, because some cough syrups can raise your blood pressure or raise your blood sugars. So it's always best to ask the pharmacist.
All right. So if we have all the symptoms or it just doesn't get better, it gets worse, is that time to see the doctor?
Now it's time to see the doctor. If you start having fevers, chills, real bad shortness of breath where it's really difficult, you're struggling to breathe, now it's time to go in and make an appointment to see the doctor.
And we get antibiotics, right?
No, not so fast. Everybody wants an antibiotic, but research has actually shown that the more antibiotics we prescribe for reasons just for a cold, colds are viruses, antibiotics don't help with the virus. So we're building up our immunity against the diseases that we have, because the antibiotics, they get kind of tricky with the viruses. They kind of learn to maneuver, and they won't be as effective when you really need one.
Okay, and of course it's best to avoid infections. So do you have any suggestions for that?
Yes. One of the best things you can do if you're sick is to avoid a person that you know is sick. You know, if the grandkids are coming over and they're sick, you tell mom, you know, keep little Jimmy home today because he's sick, you know. But if you want to visit somebody that you know is sick, you know, don't visit. Send them a get well card, you know, arrange for them to have a meal, but try to avoid them while they're sick as well.
And wash your hands.
And wash your hands. That's a big factor. Wash your hands. Sometimes you can use the antibiotic gel, not the antibiotic gel, the antiseptic gel, but hand washing is actually the best. And sometimes it's best if you wash your hands for like 15 seconds. You can sing the "If You're Happy and You Know It, Wash Your Hands." You know, sing that song while you're washing your hands, because viruses live on surfaces, so it's best to
get clean
and wash wash your hands.
All right. Good advice. The common cold may just need rest in mom's chicken soup, but more serious respiratory infections are nothing to sneeze at. My thanks to Pam Kreider for helping us all breathe easier.
To learn more, call Metro Health at 216-778-7800 or visit their website, www.metrohealth.org. Next, walk this way. But first, Washington Atlee Burpee was just 18 years old when his mom gave him seed money to start a business. But seeds weren't the first thing he sold in his Burpee mail order catalog back in 1876. He was egged on to peck out a living selling something else. Can you name the premier product that blossomed into big business? We'll pluck the answer from the archives when we return.
Here, we're improving the health of our community. Here, a student sees a doctor without ever leaving school. Here, a stroke survivor regains the use of his right hand. Here, a foster child gets the consistent care he deserves. Here, and here, we're breaking new ground every day. So we can break ground here tomorrow. Be a part of the Metro Health transformation. It's good for everyone. Here.
You could say Washington Atlee Burpee first planted poultry, since chickens were the first items offered in the Burpee mail order catalog. But he didn't chicken out from expanding into other areas, and soon he was selling seeds, which served to make the Burpee Company a sensation.
When Kelly Lang tells you to take a hike, she's not telling you to get lost. She's actually encouraging you to find cool places right in our own backyard. Kelly is the Director of Programs and Administration for the Historic Gateway Neighborhood Corporation, and she's here with walks that are worth your time, and they don't cost a dime. Welcome. This sounds really good. The program's called Take a Hike. Does that mean we got to lace up our hiking boots?
Oh, definitely not. These are more like leisurely strolls through the streets of downtown Cleveland.
That's more my speed.
You can actually, there's 5 different tours every week now through mid-September. And so you can take your pick. You can tour the Gateway District, the Warehouse District, Canal Basin Park, which is in the Flats. You can tour the Civic Center or the Playhouse Square neighborhood.
Wow, lots of things going on. So what do you learn about on the hikes?
You learn about history, architecture, any interesting trivia that has to do with the tour areas, along with future plans for what may be coming. And then along the way, one of the fun surprises is that you encounter local actors and actresses who are portraying important Clevelanders from the past. So like you might meet Rockefeller by the Rockefeller Building. Ooh,
sounds like fun. Yeah. So let's take a peek at each place, each of the tours, starting with the Gateway District.
The Gateway District tour starts in the arcade at 6 p.m. every Wednesday, and you tour the Gateway District, which has East 4th Street, the arcade, the 5th Street arcades, and the new 9 over on East 9th. And you might meet characters like Garrett Morgan, who invented the traffic light, Mayor Tom Johnson, who was the 35th mayor of Cleveland, or Congresswoman Frances Payne Bolton.
Okay, so some historical figures there. How about next is the Warehouse District?
The Warehouse District tour meets in front of Constantino's Market, which is a cute grocery store over on West 9th Street. It's every Saturday at 10 a.m. and you'll see beautiful Victorian architecture, vibrant public realm. You might meet Levi Johnson, who's an early Cleveland settler, or John D. Rockefeller.
Ooh, very important. So next we want to shine the spotlight right on Playhouse Square District.
Yes, the Playhouse Square tour takes place every Tuesday. It meets at 6 p.m. in the State Theater lobby, and you actually head right outside. You don't go inside the theaters.
Oh, we don't get to see the theaters on the inside?
No, but you learn about them.
Okay.
And then you go explore the dazzling district around. And you might meet Milton Krantz. He was the manager of the Hannah Theater for 42 years. Or Alan Freed, that might be familiar. He coined the term rock and roll.
Yep, and see the big chandelier that hangs over the street now.
Yes, yes.
Hopefully that's attached very well. So what's involved with the Civic Center tour?
The Civic Center tour starts in Old Stone Church, so you get to see inside the church. It's at 6 p.m. on Thursdays, and then you head outside to see a lot of the government buildings. You learn about the group plan from Daniel Burnham, or maybe some football from Coach Paul Brown.
Ooh, the founder of the Browns, yeah. Interesting to talk to him. And finally, the Canal Basin hike.
Yes, Canal Basin Park. It's down in the Flats. It meets every Sunday, 10 a.m. at Settlers Landing RTA Station, which is a lovely brick patio down in the Flats. And you might meet Mrs. Alfred Kelly, who was the wife of the father of the Ohio and Erie Canal.
Oh.
So, and all of these are free. They all are 90 minutes long. They're free because we have generous partners. We have a presenting sponsor, Dollar Bank, and then we also get grants from Cuyahoga Arts and Culture and Ohio and Erie Canalway.
Wow. Thank them very much for these grants, for learn something about the city. So if you can't pick which tour you'd prefer, try them all. Thanks to the Historic Gateway Neighborhood Corporation, you have all summer to stroll through our city streets on these historic hikes for free. To learn more information, use the numbers that are coming up next. My thanks to Kelly for letting us tag along on today's tours.
Thank you very much.
Find out more by calling Historic Gateway Neighborhood Corporation at 216-771-1994 or click to www.historicgateway.org. Next, a great gift that made her grin. Looking for places to go, things to do? Welcome to our community calendar. Don't have a will? That could cost your family a fortune. For priceless information, attend a complimentary seminar presented by the Lineweaver Financial Group. Don't leave your family with a flawed estate plan. The seminar will be held Tuesday, June 9th at 6 p.m. and again Thursday, June 11th at 1 p.m. at the Lineweaver offices in Valley View. To reserve your seat, call 1-888-313-4009.
When Tim Schultz married his wife Sue nearly 25 years ago, he promised he would try to make all of her dreams come true. And the story they'll share today is proof he's doing a really good job. Sue and Tim join us, along with dentist Steve Marsh, who had a hand in making this particular dream a reality. So welcome everybody to the show.
Thank you.
So
Good to
Tim,
be
we'll
here.
start with you. What does a dentist have to do with one of Sue's dreams?
Well, Sue's always been a wonderful wife and a mother and taking good care of our family, but she's always been a little insecure. She had a large gap in her front teeth, and when we were back in school, the kids would make fun of her, and here we are 25 years later, and she decides to go back to college, and she gets a degree and a great job, and one of her patients told her she'd be a beautiful woman if she had a better smile.
Oh dear.
And that's when I knew that I had to do something about it.
Okay, so Sue, your husband planned this for Valentine's Day. Did you have
Yes.
any idea at all that it was going to be a trip to the dentist?
Not at all. He told me in advance not to work that day, not to make any plans, to dress comfortably, eat before we left, and we were just going to go out. So we're driving along, and we pull into this building that's got a medical symbol, and I'm like, he punched in the wrong address.
But he didn't, did he?
No, he didn't. He explained why we were there, and I was very shocked. But I go into the building, and we walk into the office, and all the women there go, surprise!
So everybody was in on it.
They were all in on it. They were very happy, and I felt bad. I was very shocked, but at the same time, I was terrified because my husband didn't know I'm terrified of dentists.
Oh no.
So
So
that's how it started.
Steve, you had to calm her fears. So how did you do that?
Well, first of all, Tim had given us this preliminary talk, so we wanted to make it special for her. But we sat around the table just as we were doing here. We wanted to get to know Tim. We wanted to get to know Sue. And we spoke because there's a person connected to the teeth. And so I wanted to know why, what was her history about, why did she have fears, what we could do to make it pleasant for her. We looked at options and talked. And most thing was to get comfortable with each other, because I think we need to do that just as an attorney needs to sit down with clients. So we met them. They were lovely. We discussed options. And then we said, while you're here, how about if we get your teeth cleaned? That's a pretty innocuous way to get started.
Okay,
that's
so
what we
that
did.
was the first step. That was a big step for you at the dentist, though. So how did they
Yes.
help you through it?
Well, it was a get it done now because I might not come back later thing. So I agreed to do it. The hygienist was wonderful. She never once nicked my gums, or caused any pain when she did it. I'll drive an hour and get my teeth cleaned there for the rest of my life.
And they kept you comfortable and
Yes, Dr. Marsh, when he was working on my teeth, he could read me very well. I was surprised.
Thank you.
He could tell that if the Novocaine was wearing off, and he would say, all right, let's give her another boost. And the whole office staff was just absolutely warm and inviting and wonderful.
That's great. So Steve, what kind of work did you have to do with Sue?
Well, again, as I explained, we looked at the options, and at this stage, we didn't want to go through braces and that sort of thing. This is what Sue looked like when she came in, and again, we looked at all these different options from ortho to this and that, We were able to reshape her lower teeth, and then we decided to do porcelain veneers. When you have a space that large, we actually had to reshape the teeth. There's the before and after looking up, so we closed the space. We also looked at the different colors and options that she had, because today with porcelain we can almost select anything. And I think that picture speaks for itself again. So with whitening of the lower teeth to put the emphasis on the upper, because in her case that's what she shows. She has this sort of beautiful high lip line. She's very enthusiastic. And again, with about 8, I think, porcelain veneers, we were able to give her that beautiful after smile that she shows. And I have to tell you, most importantly, what's a wonderful story is that Tim was so supportive. You know, these days with husbands and wives, the fact that he cared enough about her to bring her in made it so much nicer for all of us and made the story just wonderful.
And I bet you're happy with the results, both of you, right?
Absolutely, absolutely.
I am for sure. I
Now when
smile.
Sue meets people, she doesn't cover her smile. She smiles brightly, and her confidence level's through the roof. So it's been
great.
wonderful.
It's really, really beautiful.
Thank
So.
you for that wonderful
thanks.
story. Yeah.
And this is a true love story. Tim loves Sue. Sue loves Tim. And now, thanks to Tim and Dr. Marsh, Sue loves her smile. What a perfect happy ending. My thanks to all of them for sharing this story with us today.
See what Dr. Stephen Marsh can do for your smile by calling 440-461-1003 or visit www.clevelandsmiles.com. Next, handing down treasured traditions. It's time to get up and go, an exercise minute on golden opportunities.
Hey everybody, it's Mike Carbon from Breakout Fitness, and we're here today to show you how to do a donkey kick. This is an excellent exercise. It's not only going to work and strengthen that lower back area, but also it's going to build the glutes. You ready?
I need this.
Let's do it. All right, we're going to start on all fours. Here in the studio, we have our exercise mats. You at home, go ahead and grab a spot on the floor. We want our hands to be shoulder width apart. Our knees should be about the same. What we're looking for here is we're going to bring our knees straight in, and then we're going to try to keep a 90-degree bend as we bring it straight up and out. Perfect, okay? So we're going to bring it in and then up and out. We want 12 to 15 repetitions. Let's go ahead. We can switch and try the other side. In and out. All right. How you feeling, Lori?
Really good.
Looks good. All right. Lori's doing a slightly easier version of this.
I need a slightly easier version
There
of
you
this.
go. Those beginners at home, this is a way that you can build that muscle and still strengthen the same area, okay? 12 to 15, 2 to 3 times a week. And now it's your turn to get up and go.
For your copy of the exercise booklet, send $1 for postage to Golden Opportunities, 6105 Parkland Boulevard, Suite 140, Mayfield Heights, Ohio, 44124.
You know the saying, where there's a will, there's a way. Well, there's a way to leave more than just your money to your loved ones, and it's through a will, an ethical will, and no lawyer required. Lynn Hermensky from Hospice of the Western Reserve is here to explain. Welcome to the show, Lynn.
Hi, thank you so much for having me.
Now, hopefully we all have a last will and testament.
Right.
So why would we need an ethical will, which isn't even a legal document?
Right. Well, unlike a typical legal will that leaves behind valuables to people, an ethical will leaves behind values, personal stories, traditions, wishes for future generations to come.
Okay, and they take a lot of different shapes that we're going to talk about.
They sure do.
Is this something we should do once we're in a hospice program? I mean, that seems like that's really close to end of life and would be stressful or, you know, not enough time.
Right. Well, that's one of the unfortunate myths of hospice is that some people think that they only have hours to live or just a few days to live, when in fact, if somebody gets on hospice services soon enough, they can have weeks and they can have, you know, several days, several weeks, several months in order to do this meaningful work for them.
And hospice helps them make the most of their end of
Absolutely.
life days, I guess.
Absolutely.
So,
and it's not just comfort care, it's emotional support, it's spiritual support, it's taking time to do things like this, to put these ethical wills together.
okay.
So
what
to
should we
fulfill
put in
their
them? And
dreams.
you've got some examples here of
We
what you wouldn't
do.
think of as it's not really a will at all.
Right, right. There's so many different formats that you can do for ethical wills. Some people write letters, some people do videos. There's a lot of stories that can tell.
This one.
This first one, whoops, actually we have it
So?
upside
We have it
down.
upside down. Oh, no.
That's okay.
There we go.
So this first one has mementos, things that this individual wanted to leave behind and not get rid of. You know, there's prom gloves in here, the handkerchief and the necklace from her wedding. So things that she wanted to leave behind for her family, charm bracelet. So there's a lot of nice mementos here. There's family tree books that you can fill out so you can have your family history. There's tradition books. This particular one is my favorite, and this is a recipe book. So inside here is different recipes from past generations, and it's in the individual's handwriting, which is really
Makes
special.
It really special. Yeah, you've got pictures of the person
there's
as well.
There's
Hopefully
pictures.
cooking the item that they wrote the recipe for.
Absolutely. And there's plenty of room to add future generations. So this is something that can be passed down from generation to generation, and it's just really, really meaningful. And then also the photo quilt. So this particular photo quilt tells the story of this woman's life, and it's something that can be passed on. So almost a family tree, but in picture form.
In picture form, is that easy to transfer these pictures to?
You know, I've seen a lot of people doing it now on different, you know, this one's quilted, but there's a lot of photo blankets out there, and it's just nice to have.
And then you also have a guide to help people get started, right?
Yes. We have the Leaving the Legacy Matters of the Heart Guide. And what this is it's a booklet that helps get people started on their ethical wills. So it asks questions about, what am I most proud of? What are my favorite memories? It's really a neat book to fill out. And we have this available at presentations that we do on leaving behind a legacy.
And one coming up very shortly, right?
We do. We are going to have these a week from today at our Walk to Remember, which is our biggest fundraiser of the year. It's going to be held a week from today, June 7th. Which is a Sunday. It starts at 8 a.m. and it's at the Cleveland Zoo. It's our biggest fundraiser. All of the money stays in Northern Ohio to help with, we do over about $1.5 million in charity care.
Amazing.
To help fund our pediatric program, our art therapy, music therapy. And so we hope everyone will come out to join us, and we'll be giving these guides away so people can get started on their ethical wills.
Excellent. Such nice information.
Thank you.
While your legal will helps with financial and material issues, it can't convey your memories or the meaning you found in life. And these are the things you really want your family to carry with them forever. So how can you be sure to share them? Follow Lynn's advice and fashion an ethical will. My thanks to Lynn for showing us this type of will and the way to create it.
For more information, call the Hospice of Western Reserve at 800-707-8922 or click to www.hospicewr.org. Next, out of a job because of your age?
Hilltop Village Apartments is retirement living at its best. Residents enjoy a wide variety of activities and living services with all large first-floor apartments, private screened-in patios with beautiful park views, daily dining room meals, free laundry facilities, 24-hour staff, and so much more. Enjoy safe, comfortable independence at a very affordable price. Call today for a tour and learn how you can get your first month's rent free. Hilltop Village Apartments, retirement living at its best.
Federal law has protected workers from age discrimination since the Age Discrimination in Employment Act was passed in 1967. However, age discrimination complaints have increased over 30% since 1997. What do you do if you feel you've been discriminated by your employer because of your age? Here to discuss this is my law partner, Mike Solomon.
Hi, Lori.
Hey, Mike. So what are the basics about discrimination law?
Okay, well, if you're 40 or over and you work for someone who has 20 or more employees, federal law protects you and you can't be discriminated against based on age. That means they can't make hiring decisions or termination or benefits or pay. That can't be, age can't be considered. And Ohio has a very similar law for 4 or more employees, so most people can be covered by one form or the other.
And I'm assuming that when you're employed, your employer doesn't come up to you and say, "You're old, you're fired."
No, it doesn't happen that way.
How can you kind of see the signs of it?
Well, you know, a typical scenario would be when employers have to start cutting back employees. Then they're going to try to look to cut costs. Maybe they'll get rid of the older employees who are higher paid or have more expensive health insurance. There was a case with DSW, it's a shoe retailer, and the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission filed a lawsuit against them on that exact fact pattern. They cut back workforce. They said they cut back the older workers, and they settled for $900,000. Now, DSW didn't agree or concede that they committed any discrimination, but
they had to pay the money.
They had to pay the money.
That was a big hurt for them, I bet.
Yeah,
So, how about when you interview for a job? How can you tell if they're looking at you with some discriminatory eyes?
Well, it's almost impossible when you're interviewing for a job. And the employer can't ask, well, how old are you? But they can see you, and they're going to have an idea how old you are. So, and if you're not hired, it's going to be very hard to determine why you weren't hired, and you won't know who they hired really in your place.
What their age is.
That's right. So it's going to be hard. Now, if you're already employed there, and the employer is making a cutback of workforce, and they're having a bunch of separation agreements, then they have to tell you the age of the people they let go and other facts about that, and the age of the people they retained, and then it might be a little bit easier to determine, if age is a factor.
Okay, so what do you do if you feel you are the victim of discrimination in a job situation because of age?
Well, you've got a couple things. You could file a complaint with either the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission or the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, and the telephone number might be on the screen there. There it is, Ohio Civil Rights Commission, 216-787-3150. There's a website there, and also the Equal Employment Opportunity Commission, and the number is 216-552-2001, and the website's up there also. Or contact an attorney. But you have to address this quickly, and there are lots of complicated issues. If you file with the Ohio Civil Rights Commission, you could end up losing your ability to sue in court. Or if you wait past 6 months, you're going to lose some rights. So you need to be very careful on this. Don't sit too long on your rights.
All right, good advice. If you think you've been fired or not hired because of your age, don't give up and don't delay. See if the law protects you. For help, give Mike a call. The number's coming up next.
Call Solomon, Steiner, and Peck at 1-888-236-5173 for more information, or to schedule a speaker for your organization. Or log on to www.ssnplaw.com.
Thanks for joining us. On next week's show, we'll work out why physical fitness is so important as we grow older. Then we'll meet some ageless exercisers who will put us through our paces. You want to leave your IRA to an heir. Would they benefit if you make a trust the beneficiary instead? We'll dig through the details. Plus, your child doesn't parent the way you did, so should you interfere, we'll have a grown-up conversation about that. And you've hired a caregiver who will alert you to important information you should know. But until then, please remember to make the most of your golden opportunities.
Would you like to join our kitchen conversation? All you have to do is call toll-free 1-877-765-1543 and leave us your question, name, and phone number. Or log on to www.golden.tv for all the latest information and show updates.
Golden Opportunities is paid for by Elder Productions.